Alright, and welcome. So here we go with the first video of the channel. Um, Nice to see anybody that's here. Hope you enjoy what I'm doing. So a little about me. I am Kaler Farms. I really enjoy Farming Simulator and really anything to do with farming. Um, so I play for almost hyper realism as much as I can. Um, I'm on Farming Simulator in the off season when the weather's not good to be outside, anything like that. So, um, yeah, I'm gonna start on an existing save game here, just to kind of bring everybody in with where I'm at. Um, we get uh, some traction here, I guess, and we'll probably want to start a new save game, start from scratch, work our way up. I've got some storylines worked out and things of that nature to go along with everything, so hopefully I can keep everybody interested. So here we go. This is Mercer County, Ohio, the Dinez Farms map expansion project. Very interactive map, very in-depth, originally created by MRG Mapping. He does a great job with stuff. So, let's get into her here. So, we're going to start off with a little farm tour here. Try to get a little farm and equipment tour, and maybe try to get some farm work in, but really this video is going to be more of a tour, so we'll get started here. So this is my house. I am on this farm on the map, fairly centrally located. I usually grow wheat, or a little bit of wheat, soybeans and corn, mostly corn and soybeans, and I am raising some cattle at the moment. So before we forget, let's just check on the cattle here. Cows are looking alright for now on feed. Need to get some TMR mixed up. The calf pen, on the other hand, we probably ought to take some milk over to them, and maybe a bale of hay here. So, when it comes to the animals, I do small square bales and round bales. I need to quit running everywhere. Bad habit to be in when you're playing for realism. So these small square bales I'll just carry by hand. Not too big of a deal, really. As you can see, some of my equipment sitting around. Not everything's super neat and organized. Some of it kills my OCD a little bit, but kind of make do with the limitations of the game. So for most of my videos, I will really try not to be really talking about mods quite so much. I want the channel to be more of this is my farm and what I do. So I'm going to try to address everything as that. More of a real world situation. The corn planters that I have here, for some reason, and I haven't been able to figure them out, I'm a pretty decent editor, not really a modder for the most part. Once you unfold the corn planters that I have, when you refold them, there's a collision somewhere that doesn't move back with the frame. So you'll keep a collision the full width of the planter, and you can't get it in the barns anymore. So, and if you could get it in the barns, then it would just hit whatever's in the barns around it. So I tend to just leave the corn planter set out. this is my new pickup here. I started this save game as just kind of a personal role play, and started off in the 70s, and I've worked my way up now to, I'm considering it basically the 80s as far as the game goes, late 80s, almost 90s. Um, so I bought a quote-unquote new pickup. My old truck was a 78 F350 dually. This is an 86. I kept the old truck around, again, for the role play. It's kind of a, I bought a new truck, so my son bought my old truck for me, and he still lives at home, kind of thing. Typical family farm stuff. So I'll get into some more storyline stuff in future videos, but for now, like I said, this is just kind of an introduction to me and my channel and the farm itself. So I'm going to drop some milk off here to the calves. There we go. This truck is a diesel. My old truck was a gas pickup truck. It does pretty good hauling and pulling, but for me, I prefer to have a diesel. Just a lot more reliable, more power. Real life, I run diesel pickups, so something I'm familiar with. Let's see. We're going to have to run to town at some point here and get some more milk replacer to make more milk. See if I can get this backed in here right. And for anybody watching, you'll have to let me know if you prefer a first-person view, third-person view, what you prefer. For me, I kind of like to see the equipment working from outside. The inside view's pretty good, but for me, it's more of a personal preference thing. So, whatever you like. So this is kind of my farmyard. I've got my workshop here. Don't really keep much in there. It's more supplies, so I've got seed and fertilizer in there. Keep my bush hog in there. Just it's a little nicer building. Skid loader sitting in there right now because I just brought home the seed and fertilizer. Needed to unload it. This is the old Super M. Most of my equipment is John Deere, but I've got a soft spot for these old Farmalls. Love the red equipment. I actually have a Super M sitting in the barn. I believe this one is about a 51, it looks like. I've got a 50, I gotta stop and think now, 54 Super M. It's one of the last 100 made. It's a little different from this model. Mine doesn't have the belt drive here, and it's got an aftermarket seat on it. We put a little bit nicer seat on it, something with a lot more padding. Just it was our plant tractor for a lot of years, so spent a lot of time in the seat on that, covering a lot of acres. As ridiculous as that sounds. So over here, and I'm running again. I need to quit that. This is my hay storage. So I've got the old kick baler in here. I know tedders weren't really a thing for the most part, especially tedders like this in the late 80s, early 90s, but it's kind of a necessary evil for making hay with Seasons Mod. Over here, we've got the feed grinder, a couple of gravity wagons, wagon load of hay. I do make small squares for the calf pens, and occasionally I'll use them for the cattle barn here, but that's usually round bales for them. Here's the milk storage tanks for this farm. There's a trigger right here. You can just auto sell what you have, or you can pull a trailer in here, load it up, and haul it off to the milk plant yourself. And let's see, over here we've got the rotary hoe, kind of handy for getting the weeds out. fuel trailer that is also a service point. Anybody that's not familiar with this, you open it up and get a trigger over here, drive your equipment into that trigger, and then you can work on it. We've got the fermenting silo here. I've got grass hay in there, making some grass silage. I've not found a good way to keep this header on a header trailer, so for now I can't fit it in the barn, so I've just been leaving it sit out here, which of course you'd never do in real life. That's just going to get ate up by the weather. That's my old pickup truck, stock trailer, of course, for moving some cattle around, feed mixer. That's a much newer model than would have been present in the 80s or 90s, but you know, you're kind of limited by what the game can do. So, come over here, we'll just kind of hop the wall. Apparently, we're standing in the Bobcat bucket there. Over here we've got my 4440 and manure spreader. Don't typically generate a lot of solid manure on this map. I only bed the cattle in the winter, so summertime they really don't need near as much straw, so I don't typically generate a lot of solid waste. It's all mostly liquid. This is my 16-row corn planter with liquid fertilizer. Does a great job. And over here, running again. So we've got the fertilizer cart, sprayer that is way undersized for most of my fields, but sprayers are expensive, so kind of making do with what I can afford right now. If you check out the top right corner there, I'm only hanging up around $40,000. Last fall, I had everything planted to soybeans, and Seasons was very unkind to me. I got a lot of rain late, and the crops never did dry out. Ended up with 3 fields of soybeans just rotting away before I could get them harvested. So, unfortunately, lost a whole bunch of money last year, but that's also kind of how farming works. So, not sweating it too bad. We're still in the positive, so we'll make back this year. Get a couple fields of soybeans, a couple fields of corn, so we'll be doing all right. This is my John Deere 7240. That's a bean planter. It's narrow spaced rows. That's a new addition to the farm. Just picked that up. Here's the little 7006 row. I use this for spot planting. I started planting with that actually when I first came to this farm, and I couldn't really part with it. It was too good of a planter, so I keep it around for spotting in thin spots. A little J&M grain cart, which this mod is, it's a nice concept. It's a good little cart, but it's not a super detailed mod, so it leaves a little to be desired for me, but you know, I can't make better myself, so I can't really complain too much. I appreciate all the mods that have been released. It makes the game that much more in-depth. Here we've got the 1590 seed drill, which I think is pretty much a staple of any small to mid-sized American farm. Just about everybody I know's got one or a similar model, so they're kind of everywhere. Got a loading wagon here, small gravity wagon for the corn picker here. I do pick a crib full of corn every year, or well, every year that I've got corn out. I can run, with my current herd size, I can run about 2 years on one crib, grind and feed out of it, so I'm not really pressed to make corn every year, but I try to keep a good crop rotation going. I've usually got corn out every year on here. This is my 7810, which is actually a small frame tractor, but it's kind of big horsepower 2-wheel drive tractor. I think this one's running 100. It's either 178 horse or 210. I can't remember whether I've got that one turned up or not. The old 8820 Turbo, great combine. There's a ton of those in my area back in the day. And then we've got the 8960. This is the big power, big horse there. The old grain truck. Kind of hard to believe I've got a Chevy on the farm, but it's what was available and I can afford, so that's what we got. Over here, another new addition to the farm. Last fall, picked up this field cultivator. I was doing everything with a disc. Got 2630 disc here, which I bought last spring. John Deere disc chisel, which I also bought last spring. Here's the calf pen. This is a new addition to this map by Deno's Farms. Really adds quite a bit of realism for me. Gives you a little something extra to mess around with. And like any good farm, back here behind the barn in the weeds, we've got the old John Deere wing disc. I think that's a 210 that I started with, and Landau disc chisel, which was also one of my beginning implements here. So that's kind of the farm. Got the slurry tank over there. That's not actually mine. I'm leasing that one currently because I just can't quite afford to buy one yet. So, but I can make payments, so we kind of make do again. Those calves chew very noisy. So, yeah, that's kind of the home farm here and what we got going here. We're gonna run out and get some things going and see what we can do. See what we need to get into for the day, I guess would be a better statement. I started cutting some hay the other day, and it was getting kind of late, and my boy was driving by, picked me up, so I just kind of left the tractor sit in the field. So gonna need to take him over and get him back cutting hay while I give you guys the rest of the tour. Now, I don't do hired workers. That's just kind of cheaty to me. What I do use is Courseplay, and for the purposes of how I play, to me, I usually use that as it's a family member that's helping with some chore on the farm for me. So, yeah, the old 4020 here, she's kind of scratched up, dinged up, a little dirty, but still quite the workhorse. Gets her done for me. And really, it's just another tractor I kind of can't part with. Use it for everything. Do a lot of hay cut. Runs the feed mixer for me. All sorts of stuff. It's handy for putting wagons away or backing stuff into tight spaces. Really maneuverable tractor. So this is, kind of show you here. So currently I own this farm. I also own these fields, this field, and this patch down here. This was cheap enough. I was able to pick it up and expand a little bit. Gave me, it's a little boost to income. So now that everything's paid off, I'm hoping this year's crops are going to do better than last year. I'm not going to get rained out during harvest, and we can actually make some money and try to upgrade some stuff. I've definitely got, like most farmers, a short list of equipment that I want to pick up as soon as I'm able to expand some stuff. And come on, Junior, get it going. There you go. And all that. So I'll pull back out here. There is no traffic on this map, which is really the one thing I feel like it's kind of lacking to really give it that immersive, in-depth feeling. So run over here, check out my other ground. This is a great farm, pretty big setup. One of these days, it's kind of my goal is to maybe move over here, but we'll see how it goes. Now this field, this is just a little too small to really do much with as far as crops. Getting the combine with the header across that bridge would be kind of a pain, so I just planted this to alfalfa, and I just make some different hay off of this. So looks like it's about ready to cut. So we get done with field 24, and I think we're going to need to send Junior over here and get him cutting on this. Or actually, I may have him get the tedder out and toss what he's cutting right now, and I'll come down and mow this. Nope, almost forgot. Got a bean field over here we need to check on. Probably going to need to get out here and spray these. I've got missed a spot here with the drill, but looks like we got a pretty good stand for the most part. Coming along pretty nice. Little early on, not seeing any soybean aphids yet, so we might get lucky this year and maybe won't have to make that extra pass with the sprayer. Alright, we'll get out of here and head back home. This truck does have a little bit of an exhaust kit on it. I'm kind of a sucker for listening to Ford motors as they should be heard. Head down this way here, and we'll double check on our cattle real quick. Make sure I don't need to throw them a bale or anything. Make sure I didn't forget something. Probably don't really have a lot of manure that I need to haul from last winter, so I'm thinking probably ought to take the duals off the 4440 and we can take it out. Well, it's a little overkill for it, but I could just put the tedder on that and trade Junior tractors when he's done mowing, and he can finish tedding, and I'll take the old hay bind down there to the other ground, and I'll do some mowing on it. Really nice startup sounds on this tractor. The only real complaint I've got with this mod, the front wheels do not seem to have dirt masks on them. So, oh really? As soon as I want to drive through there. Never fails. There we go. Hustle out of here before any of them decide they want to hop out of the fence, and of course I can just run over the gate, tear it all to heck, and make more expenses for having to repair things for myself, because that's the smart way to farm, right? Alright, take us over here. We're going to pop the duals off real quick. Luckily in the game that's a little bit easier to do than it is in real life. Don't really have to mess with any jacks or blocks to get the back end off the ground. Okay, so we're going to hop in here, and there we go. That's about all there is to it. Alright. Don't really need duals to do hay work. .4440 actually is a pretty maneuverable tractor. Want to say it's about 120 horse, give or take. Where I'm from, 120 horse could be a big tractor, it could be a very small tractor. It just kind of depends on your setup and your operation. So we'll hit the flashers there so we're legal. And I'll go ahead and go down here and I'll start chasing Junior with the tedder here a little bit. Get a head start on it. Kind of cheating. Really shouldn't be unfolding implements while you're running down the road, but I didn't see any cars, so. Alright, we'll get her fired up here, drop her down, and off we go. Probably shut my blinkers off. And when you're tedding, I mean, you can really move along at a good clip, because all you're doing is tossing the hay around a little bit, get it to dry down a little quicker, a little more evenly. Kind of spread it out, thin it out there. We did get a rain, a real short shower the other night overnight after we started cutting this, so this here got a little damp, so tossing it around would probably help it out a little bit. You can see what Junior's cutting is a little bit more dry. I'm going to try to get down through here. I don't think I'm going to beat Junior back. I'll have to swerve over, get out of his way on his next pass here, but we'll make it work. Actually, I think what I'll do, I'll just pick up here. I'll let him get by. My kids, he's just flying along there. He needs to learn how to slow it down some. Some jobs you just got to take your time with. That old hay bind's probably about choking to death. Appreciate the hustle, but some things you just can't rush, you know? Swing around here pretty tight. There we go. Get this side all tossed, and we'll hit the other side. And just, I guess, wait on Junior to finish it up. There we go. Try not to throw too much of this out to the side. I hate having to try and chase hay back in with a rake. It's always a pain. Get through this curve here before I bump her back up a gear. There we go. And really, I'm about one tractor short here for what I could really use, but I don't always have a body to drive an extra tractor either. Sometimes the wife can come out and help, sometimes not. I'm thinking from the way this hay's looking, we might have to ted this a second time here. We'll see how it shapes up. So usually for me, I play on 3-day seasons, and I keep my time scale set at about 5 times normal speed. Seems to be about the right mix for getting the right amount of work done during the day. But I've actually been thinking recently here that maybe I should stretch my season's time out a little bit, get it out to maybe 5 days. And I don't know if I would want to speed the time scale up anymore, or just kind of keep it at the 5 times. It gets it can get a little dull for video making, just doing chores. So if you guys got any thoughts on that, let me know down in the comments. Which actually, I am just noticing here, we are just over the 30-minute mark, and I really don't want to have videos running long, so I think when I get up to the end of the field here, we're going to probably call it a night and go ahead and end this one. So like I said, first ever video. Hopefully there was something in here you guys enjoyed. Gonna try to get more actual farm work in my future videos. There was, kind of doing a little bit of a farm tour and all that. Kind of ate up some time on us tonight, so. But definitely planning another video here pretty shortly. So we will we'll go ahead and get that saved up. There's an overview of the home farm there with all the equipment, where it's at, what it's doing. So anyway, we're going to call that one a night and head on out. So thanks for watching. I appreciate any feedback anybody wants to give me. I'm fairly new to this myself, watched a lot of videos, but just now decided I'd throw my hat in the ring and try to make some content, see what I could do, see if maybe I can find a spot, call my own, and make some content some people enjoy. So let me know what you think, and look forward to hearing from you. Hopefully we'll see you back here. Have a good one.